Welcome to Pursuing the Muse. I'm Tom Compton. Today I'm incredibly excited to feature the one and only Larry McCray. His brand new album, Heartbreak City, which just came out in June, is an absolute must listen. This record is a masterpiece that truly shows the many faces of the blues, blending soul and blues with incredible energy and extended solos, reminiscent of the Stax sound. Larry calls it home cooking, and it delivers a vibrant, positive vibe. Without further ado, here's Larry McCray.
I'm going Heartbreak City. The only place where loser and love can hide. Wow. When I said hello to you, I said bye-bye.
All right, Tom Compton here with Pursuing the Muse, and today I am so excited. We have Larry McCray joining us in the studio. Larry, how are you doing?
I'm good, Brother Tom. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm so psyched to talk to you. And I'll tell you why, because a couple weeks ago, I'm going through the new releases, because albums are coming out on Fridays. I'm going through the new releases, and I see Larry McCray, Heartbreak City.
Uh-huh.
I put that on, man, that freaking wah-wah's going on Try to Be a Good Man, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good record. And I'll tell you what.
I went back to some old stuff I ain't visited with in years, using that kind of sound and stuff, Tom.
Oh, so yes, I was like, this is like going back to Stax with Isaac Hayes or something. So right out of the gate, great energy, and the album is fantastic because it doesn't stay in any one place. You're going to like a soul thing, a blues thing. You're doing 7-minute blues songs with extended solos. It's just a fantastic album and so great to hear in 2025.
I appreciate that. I thank you so much, brother. And the thing that I'm really happy about is that it wasn't so uniform in terms of all the songs being exactly alike. It gave me a chance to show a couple different faces, which in most cases I never get a chance to do so. And I hope that it helps reinforce the fact that the blues is many faces. It's not just one thing, and that it's a little something out there for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it gets dirty, and then it gets upbeat, and then even a song like Hangman, I could picture like Lightning Hopkins on a back porch somewhere playing that one.
Yes, sir. We did our best.
You did indeed. So now, let me talk to you about, how did you get started playing guitar?
Tom, I started playing guitar. I got inspired about guitar when I was just a kid. I was born in a little town called Smackover, Arkansas. And I was there from 1960, not in Smackover, but in that same part of the country, till about 1972. And I moved to Michigan. But my whole upbringing in Arkansas, my older sister, Clara, was a blues musician. She was a guitarist. Her and Michael Burke's father had a group together. Michael Burke's dad, Fred Burks, played bass for her. Bobby Joe Hendricks played drums, and E.D. Mullison played piano with my sister on guitar. It was Clara and the Rockets. Well, I had that to look at. It used to be some gospel singers from church that would come over about once a week, and they would rehearse with my sister at the house. And I saw these different things, and it really put the fire in me and made me want to play. I love the whole thing about playing and singing music.
Oh, I can only imagine being that up close to it happening live right next to you.
Right, and also being from that part of the country, it wasn't many options. You either worked, played sports, or played music. If you were lucky, you got a chance to be around music. And so, out of those three options, music outshined the other two by far,
Yes, I would take music also. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Arkansas? Because at some point you moved to Michigan, didn't you?
Right. I come to Michigan in 72.
Okay.
And so I was just starting middle school when I moved to Michigan. I had planned on just coming and visit with my sister for the summer. But before my vacation was over here, my mother notified her and told her not to send me back and that the family was uprooting and moving to Michigan.
All right. And were you around blues while you were in Michigan?
Nobody but my sister, but again, the same thing happened when I moved to Saginaw. She had a group of musicians that would come over and rehearse at the house, and we would push the couch and the chairs and everything back, and they would set up drums, bass, a couple of guitar rigs, and they would sit there and play music. And I got a chance to absorb all that. And so I'd never played guitar before I left Arkansas, but when I moved in with her, she had the guitars and everything right there in the house so I could put my hands on it. And that's what got me started when I moved in with her. Her guitars and stuff would be around, and I was sneaking playing them. And she found out because she had children herself. Her children are just like my younger brothers and sisters. We that close in age. My niece and nephew are only like 3 to 5 years, 7 years younger than me. But I'm their uncle. But anyway, I would be there playing, and if one of them got a hold to it, they would knock it out of tune, and I didn't know how to tune it, so eventually I had to let her know that I had been fooling with it. But once she found out that I was good and that I wouldn't abuse her instrument, she was all about trying to teach me.
Sweet. Did she start letting you sit in with the group?
Yeah, once I got a little bit, the first thing I learned was a Jimmy Reed shuffle. And once I learned to do that, I didn't have to be with solo. I could jump in on certain songs. And then after that, I started piece by piece trying to piece a couple of notes together. Got a little better, started copying B.B. King, and it graduated on from to so on and so forth.
Yeah, the Three Kings.
Yep. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, I could when you kick off a solo, I can instantly hear an Albert King influence. You got that sting.
Well,
that is,
I was lucky,
really precious,
and blessed to get a chance to know Albert King. The last few years of his life, I must have known Albert for about a good 5 years, and during that time, the last 5 years of his life, he was still active in a lot of things. Gary Moore had used him to promote his "Still Got the Blues." He did "Oh Pretty Woman." And another song by Albert King. He did 2 songs by Albert. He did 2 songs by Albert Collins. Well, I was the support band for all that. I came out and played first. Then Gary Moore came on and invited Albert King and Albert Collins to the stage. And I seen that every night for about 50 nights in Europe, all over Europe. So, I've been blessed to see some of the things that I've been able to experience. And I was just a young punk. I was
in
maybe
the thick
30
of it,
years
for sure.
old. Yeah.
Right.
I was.
You're just taking it all in, I imagine.
It took a long time. It was very surreal. Yeah. It took a long time for it to hit home that I was really doing it, because it's things that I had envisioned and dreamed about when I was a kid, but I never had no idea or not even an inkling that maybe one day I could meet Albert King or be on a stage with, great people like that. It was just dreaming, Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a thrill. I once saw Albert King at Blues Etc. on Belmont Street in Chicago. And I happened to be going past as he was taking a break between sets, and I got to shake his hand, and his hand was enormous. My hand was like a little baby hand. Like shaking his
standing
hand.
Beside Albert King with him and another gentleman from Memphis named Jay Sheffield, and Jay was just as big as Albert was, just maybe an inch or so shorter. But I'm standing between those two men, and I look like a little boy standing there with his uncle. So I come off around about their shoulders.
Yeah. Absolutely. Albert towered in many ways.
That's right.
Musically and physically. So what's cool about Heartbreak City is you're writing the majority of the songs, and a lot of blues players, they're playing kind of standard Stormy Monday or what have you, and you're putting like your own self into it. How did you get from playing blues to actually writing your own songs?
I love the blues from a kid. Like I said, I was influenced by it, when I was young. I started singing when I was about 8 or 9. And I always knew I've seen the blues very disrespected all of my life, because, I come up and grew up around it and I understood it. But when I moved away, other people were very unappreciative, very down on it, didn't really understand what it was all about. And it was that thing that motivated me to prove them wrong. So I always knew, to me, when I listened to rock and roll guitar, I heard the blues in it. It was just played real fast at a different tempo, maybe a different beat and things like that. So I always look for ways to put my own signature on it and to make it palatable for people who didn't understand it and didn't know what it was. Okay, if you can get them to listen, once they listen and like it, maybe they'll go a step further and try to see, delve more into the history of it. And that was always my belief and my goal and aspiration, what kept me going.
Okay, because like even on your first record, which
it was 1990, but that record was actually recorded in 87.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, so even that record, you're putting original stuff on there, and it's blues tinged, but it's more. It's like you were taking the blues and spicing. Spicing might not be the right word, but taking it to another level where
what I like to call it, Tom. I don't even call it taking to another level, but I call it giving the blues a different perspective viewpoint. Giving people a different way to look at the blues, because they look at the blues and they think they know it and they think it's so in the boxes. The blues can only be da-da-da-da in some people's opinion. But, like I said, I have always thought and aspired to have it shown in a different light. And so when I hear R&B music, when I hear soul music, when I hear funk music, when I hear jazz, whatever it is I hear, I always hear it with a blues undertow, because that's me and that's my personality and that's how I grew up, So I find it quite easy to inflect this personality into just about anything that I aspire to do. So any type of music, I know what it feels like to me, and I feel the blues,
Sure. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Now, so it almost seems like the songs you're writing, you're steeped in the blues, but if you're just like, tapping into something and writing something, it's going to reflect the blues, but it's also going to reflect
what I'm
more
trying
of
to
yourself.
say is that
it's not
the blues haven't changed, but everything must change. And if that makes any sense to you, in other words, I'm still loving the blues, but I'm not the same guy that I was in 1970 or 1980, and I've did a lot of living since then. So the only thing that in my mind is that to stay current, you have to write about the blues that you live and the blues that you know. And so with that being said, life, you old enough to have seen society change and take different faces in the last 3 or 4 decades. So the music have did the same thing. It evolved also.
Sure.
It evolved. The content of it, the substance of it didn't evolve, but the subject of it definitely changed.
Right. The world is looking at new things, and you're putting a blues lens on stuff that's going on. That's very cool. So, what's it like? Because your brother,
my whole career,
Steve, has played drums for you a bunch, right? What's it like
I
to play with your brother?
That's me at my best, because no one knows my music as well as my brother. My brother have a couple of health issues that took him off the road. And so that's been for the last 3-4 years, around about the pandemic. And that's the last time that we've been steady on the road together. But even with his health condition, if I'm playing close enough and home in time enough for him to receive his treatment, he still plays with me. So we still do a number of gigs together, but, usually within a day or two drive.
Okay. What's different about playing with your brother, who you've grown up with and probably knows you really deeply, versus a studio guy jumping in next to you on the kit?
In this particular case, in Joe's case, his drummer is pretty well rooted, and I don't have to tell him how to play or how to feel. But the difference with playing with him and playing with my brother, say, okay, for instance, he might be playing the feel for the song just right. But if I want to change spice in the middle of something or running with something or try something different, I can look at my brother and he'll know what to do. And that's the telepathy that you don't have with somebody who you haven't played with that many years.
Yeah, that's very cool. Now, you mentioned the name Joe, which I assume is Joe Bonamassa, right? How did you wind up hooking up with Joe? Because he was involved with your last couple of records,
right? From the way I understand it, Joe told me that he had tried to contact me years before, but at the time, the management that I had didn't pass the message on, and never anything was done about it. There was no correspondence. So I lost that management about around about pandemic time. And when he found out about it, he contacted me, and we picked it up right there.
Nice. What was he trying to say to you when he was getting a hold of you? Okay.
Right here, and where I'm at now, still in
Where
Bay
were
City,
you at?
Michigan.
Like, just like mentally? No, I mean mentally. Were you like doing something, preparing a record, and then Joe's coming?
At that time, I wasn't. I mean, at that time, I was just home doing my own thing.
Okay.
Right. Well,
was that COVID time and everybody was kind of locked in?
I went through a healthy period of time where that I don't know, it was almost like being blackballed or something. It looked like that my music wasn't suitable for the market. They was looking for something a little bit more modern, a little more rock and roll edge or something like that. I was too close to the bone. And it just, was not a lot of good times, from 2000 to,
sure,
late over into the 2000s, The first time we went to Ocean Way Studio.
So where did you wind
in
up
Los Angeles
recording with Joe?
And the second time we went to Sunset Studio in L.A. He do, but we go to these
he have his own
two studios because that's where he's set up, and he's got a full-time reservation there. And the Ocean Way was number 4, and Sunset is also in the top 10 studios in the world. So the Sunset is where Prince recorded his Purple Rain, and they still have it set up exactly the way he had everything set, and everything when he made those recordings. They call it the Purple Room. Yeah, pretty much. They left it set just the way it was.
It's like a shrine. Very cool. How do you compare the way
think
Joe
it's a great difference because
recorded you
when you're
versus
doing everything
the way you were
independent,
recording before Joe came
you only
along?
have what you know, and actually, in audio recording, I wasn't a professional. Only thing I had was my opinion and my ears. These are people who he works with are highly professional in their trade. So what I would have been shooting at to hit, they know how to go right to it. And it's the production. The difference is the production, and the difference in it is night and day.
Okay. Okay. Did it feel like a burden was
Well, it
lifted?
made
Like
me
somebody
feel that a burden
finally
was
someone's here
lifted,
that
someone
that can hear this
finally,
besides my own ears.
unbiasedly, with no reason to opinionize one way or the other, was able to give me a fair shot. I really feel like that. This is the first real. I feel like this is my first recordings.
Nice, yeah. Because I mean, the last two records have been really well. The new one's new, so but the last one was,
and you know,
got
I
a lot of critical acclaim
different than I was doing 30 years ago, 30,
Larry's
35
back
years ago,
kind of a thing.
And that's just trying to keep the blues current, you know, and from a rhythmic standpoint, that's the only thing we can do to change up, because the blues is gonna stay the blues, or else they're not the blues. So I mean, you know, you can't change the way you express that and your solos and stuff. The only thing you can change is the rhythm and the chord changes. You know, so that's what I try to focus on. I try to focus on new rhythms and chord changes
sure.
that are like fun to play over, but don't step too far away from the originality of the genre, not so far away that it's not recognizable.
Right. And you know, talking about like you were there the whole time, but maybe culture like went away and it came back to give. So,
well, now, there's several.
What do you?
I mean,
who else do you think is out there doing a good job?
People who I respect,
the blues alive.
People like Ronnie Baker Brooks, Wayne Brooks. You know, the Brooks boys. They've been at it a long time. Chris Kane, out there in California. And I'm talking about, you know, guys that are what I would call pure blues players, you know. I really love Joey Delgado of the Delgado Brothers. I think he's a fine musician. I think that Sugar Ray Rayford works hard to keep his blues current and fresh and, you know, try to give a different face. Nellie Travis is out there. Who else? I'm just trying not to overlook nobody.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that young man. Well, I was going to speak about that. I was speaking about more of the people in my graduation class, you know, people like Bernard Allison, you know, people like that. But it's like young DK or Kingfish.
Right.
And it's a couple other young men I've been seeing. What's the other young fellow? John Tavius. And then you got Sean. I'm trying to think of.
Okay.
Sean's like a bad young guitar player, man. He's from down the way there. So I mean, it's a whole crop of them, man. There's a lot of young people that's really trying to carry on the tradition and coming along in that way. My biggest criticism for the young people is that they need to go back and study a little bit more vocally to try to emulate the emotion of what the blues greats had to say. Singers like Solomon Burke, Lil Milton, Johnny Adams, you know, Albert King was a great singer. B.B. King was a great singer. You know, so those guys have left a real good example of how to bring the emotion of the blues to the forefront in the vocal. And if most young people, what I say, are too cute to sing the blues, they don't want to get ugly when they sing it. You know what I mean? But I think the blues is all about telling the truth, and you can't be too ashamed to go where you need to go. And I said that with the greatest humility, you know, because I don't think I'm all that.
The voice is such
this
a
and
that,
you know, I'm the guy, you know, who, as they say, when I say it's Haynes, it says Haynes. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy, but I'm just speaking my opinion in terms of what makes me really feel authenticated, or when I hear somebody do it, that makes me think that they come from it and I can believe what they're saying, you know?
Right. Yeah. You with you though, we can hear you feel it in the playing, but you're also feeling it in the voice. And
Right.
I think what you're noticing is with a lot of the young
guys,
play,
can't they?
they're not quite there yet with the voice.
They can show play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So now when you talk about blues singers, one of the names that comes to mind is Bobby Blue Bland. And I do because
those
but there is a shout out to Bobby Blue Bland on the new record,
City,
right? You do a shout out in there, don't you?
Brightside were written for Bobby Bland by a cat named Michael Price and John Smith. They were written for Bobby, but he never recorded them.
Okay.
They canned those songs and
nice.
They end up giving them to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I saw Bobby Blue Bland at the Holiday Star in Maryville, Indiana. And man, there was nothing like Bobby Blue Bland. I don't know how he did that. He had this like signature noise he would make like between lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just amazing.
I don't think nobody got nerve enough to try.
Yeah. And it worked. I don't know if anybody else could pull that off.
That's right.
Yeah. I would be totally self-conscious if I tried to do something like that.
Well, I mean, cool. I've known Josh Smith ever since he was a young kid, around about 13 or 14 years old. So we know each other quite well. And coming to the project, he I guess he figured that I'd be the guy that could possibly do it justice, It was. It very much so was.
Wow, that's a compliment.
Right, yeah, Brightside and
Brightside was one of the ones you mentioned, right?
And I Know What I Done. Those all three songs come from Michael Price and John Smith.
Heartbreak City.
So that was it. That was another. They was gonna give that one to Bobby too.
Okay.
So I mean,
now, you get
Bobby Blue Bland and B.B. King was blues Bible for my generation and for my culture, where I come from. As far as my people and all the people around me that lived that life, it didn't get no better. Bobby Bland and B.B. King was top shelf. Of course I was a Bobby and a B.B. fan, and always been a big admirer. So I was lucky enough to meet Bobby, to do quite a bit of touring with him also throughout the 90s. And I really enjoyed meeting and knowing all my heroes, man. I got a chance to tour with B.B., Albert Collins, Albert King, Bobby Bland, Denise LaSalle, Millie Jackson, Tyrone Davis, Coco Taylor, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Johnny Clyde Copeland. All of my doggone heroes that were still out there doing it. Lil Smokey Smothers.
Sure.
Elvin Bishop. I mean, that's just naming people off the top of my head that I was able to be in camaraderie with and learn and play music around and with.
Yeah.
Buddy Miles, Teeny Hodges of the high rhythm section that did all the music for Al Green. I was real tight with Teeny. He was a sweet individual, a very stand-up man. Teeny Hodges was the guy, man.
Okay. You got any funny stories of any of these legends you've been around behind the scenes?
Blues men will be blues men.
You might not be able to share them, but...
Yeah, I tell you what, when we talking, I'll tell you one.
I can only imagine what Bobby Blue Bland is like backstage.
Well, I got a B.B. story.
All right, you're going to keep the
last time I saw
mystique.
B.B., when we, and I used to do a lot of shows opening for B.B. King. I would say it would have to be at least about 40. And I played his 70th birthday party in Memphis and in Chicago, Illinois at the Hard Rock. So, I mean, I was always lucky to get in and around and have some type of an involvement. So I was happy for that. I can at least say that. But the last time I saw B.B. King, we opened up the show for B.B. And when the end of the night came around, I went back to say hi to him because it'd been a few years since I seen him. So I went on around to his dressing room and I peeped around the corner. The door was open and he was sitting there, and I peeped in and he had two ladies sitting there with him. So I figured I would come back later. He was busy. And I just threw my hand up. He said, come on in. I said, no. I said, I see you busy there. I'll come back at another thing. Oh, come on in. They don't bite. And so I said, okay. So I went on in and sat down. I said, how you doing, BB? Good to see you and all that stuff. And long time out here. Well, he said, I got a problem. I said, BB, how can you have a problem? What kind of problem you got? He said, well, this one here won't give me none. And this one here is mad at me. So I said, yeah, well, BB, you do have a problem. Yeah. He caught me so off guard, I'm surprised.
Yeah, and
if
you
my
don't
mouth
have an
didn't drop
answer.
Over. He said, well, this one here won't give me none, and this one here is mad at me. And both the ladies sitting right there with us. Hail to the king. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
But a sweet guy, too, man. BB was great,
BB,
man.
yeah. What a character. The world misses BB King.
He had time for everybody. He shook every hand.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Here, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a big smile. Such a great outgoing character. Can I share it's not on that level, but my BB King story? I mean, I'm in high school, in suburbs of Chicago. My friends and I, we get tickets to see BB King in Maryville at the Holiday Star. He would play there every year at the same time of year, like every April. So we go to Maryville, we get there, and we're the only 4 white people in the building, and we're dressed in like shorts and T-shirts, and everybody else is in like Sunday church like dresses and suits and hats, and we're just like, oh my gosh, we just felt so out of place. But so the next year, when he's coming back in April,
the black
we
people,
knew
man, that's
to dress
like
up in suits.
to the king. I'm telling you, man.
And we did. We wore suits.
I grew up, like
year.
I said, it was no bigger than that. It was top shelf. BB was the king of the blues in the black neighborhood, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, never would have guessed. Like Holiday Star, every other show they do,
it's
to
the old boy,
in,
man. And the people, like you said, would show up just like
but
that.
Now
all
when BB
dressed
King
up like they're going
shows
to church.
up. Yeah,
hey, Boogaloo
wonderful. And then,
yes,
you remember Boogaloo with
he's still around. Boogaloo's in Texas, somewhere near Houston.
Yeah.
And I have a friend. Do you know who Eugene Bridges is? Eugene Hideaway Bridges. Okay, well he spent most of his time and career in Australia, but he's a Louisiana
blues man.
No, that doesn't
ring a bell for me.
And he's back stateside. He's in Houston, so him and Boogaloo and all them guys stayed in touch, and they now and then do some festival events and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, fantastic. Glad to hear he's still doing it. So, and I'll say, man, when Heartbreak City, when I first put that on, and I'm like, oh my, it's been what, like between 1990, I'm going to do some math here, 35 years, man. You still got that vibrancy, you still got that life.
Well, I don't know so much about the magic,
so
Tom, but when you got
that you've still
passion,
got the magic.
You find some kind of way. You find some kind of way to, although maybe your skills and everything, your voice might diminish or whatever it is, you still find a way to be expressive and try to let your blues light shine, But I just been lucky that I'm 65 years old and my voice ain't dropped yet. So, until I diminish, I intend to keep on doing my best to try to keep my level as high as I possibly can.
That's fantastic. Do you
Just a lot of good
take
smoking and
any
drinking.
steps to keep your voice vibrant, or is it just good
I'm
fortune?
lying. No, I just been blessed. Like I said, I found out that my folks realized that I could sing when I was about 7, 8, 9 years old. I used to run around the house and sing all the time, but that wasn't no different. All my brothers and sisters could sing. So I wasn't no different than none of the rest of them. I just was doing what the rest of them did, But sometime because I was little, when company would come over, they would have me sing, and I would be shy and stand on one foot with my finger in my mouth, and they, come on, baby, sing for us. And finally, I would open up and sing, would sing, and they would give you quarters and stuff. You know how it is. And so that's what started me to sing, and I never did have to try to sing. I just sang. Yep.
Came naturally.
No,
you're not doing vocal exercises.
Me,
6 a.m. in the morning.
No, I don't.
Doing
I
some
don't do it. Maybe I
Pavarotti.
should, but I wasn't taught that way.
There you go.
Well, don't say 70. That ain't far. That ain't far around the corner.
Maybe at 70 if it starts to drop off.
There you go. I'm shooting for that.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. Maybe at 90.
There you go.
Right?
We'll do this again.
Yeah. There you go. I'll be there. Yeah. Are you are you taking
that will all contend on what kind
taking
of
it on the road to promote the new album?
So that ain't been discussed yet, Tom. Honestly, the record just come out June 13th. I got some other touring going on right now. I'm getting ready to do some work, about 20-some dates in the States with Devin Allman. And it's Devin Allman's Blues Summit. And it's going to involve Jimmy Hall, Sierra Green, and who else is going to tour with it, I don't know. But I heard that Kingfish was also part of the album, and I think Robert Randolph too, but I don't know if they're going to join the tour or not. No, we're all playing. I'm playing. We're all guesting.
Okay, so
with
are
his
you
group of musicians.
playing in his band, or are you
with
your
Devin's
own band?
Devin got a band
spot
put
on the
together,
bill?
and he's going to host Jimmy, Sierra, and whoever else is on the tour with him.
Okay. Wow,
that's why it's his Blues Summit, Devin Allman's Blues Summit. And you can look online and get the tour dates. I don't know exactly what they are, but if you put in the Blues Summit, Allman Blues Summit,
okay,
it'll come up and hit tour dates. Yes.
All right, that's good advice. So we were talking about, you've been doing this, at least publicly, for 35 years.
I just think that I'm more focused.
How have you seen your songwriting
more
evolve
focused, and I think
over
that
35 years?
I've learned to cut through the chase at a lot of things. What things that when you really unsure of yourself, you have a tendency to go all around and above and below the target. But once you focus yourself a little bit more and kind of know what you want, it becomes more refined.
Okay. Now,
always.
The new record, always. I get a
That's
really,
all I want to promote.
There's a real positive vibe.
It's enough negativity in the world.
Is that something you're consciously
beyond music
to this collection?
The more important thing for me than music is to be remembered as being a good person. Now, I want to be a good musician, and oh man, he could play, he could sing. That's all okay, well and good. But more important, to be remembered as being a good person, being a good human being first. Yeah.
Right. You got your priorities straight there. And I think a song like Bye Bye Blues, like when I said hello to you, I said bye bye to the blues, man. That's just kind of an overarching message that, listening to your new record brings. It's like, there's hope. There's there's some tough stuff going on in there.
Well, you can always find ways to say things
at the end of the day,
in
man,
a song that you can't maybe
blues
say
is kind
in
of a salvation in a way.
And a little controversy don't hurt, I don't think, if you promoting the right theme. If you're trying to put a light on something or say something that needs to be said.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hangman is almost like a warning.
That's right.
Like
That's right.
It can get bad, but as a listener, listen and take the advice at your own risk. Yeah. So yeah, up and down. There's no filler on this album.
I'm trying not to waste time on things
really great.
that I don't enjoy.
I'm so happy.
If I don't enjoy it, why would I think anybody else won't enjoy it? I'm trying to be the wine taster. You know what I'm saying? That this is a good one. Try this. Whatever. But I don't know. I'm just happy that things turned out as well as they did. And my best description of this music, this type of music, this album, is home cooking. And hopefully it make you feel good just like you do when you eat something good and something familiar that makes you think about when you're a little kid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it brings back great music of the past, and it's also like vibrant in the present.
Right.
Like that wah wah, for
I'm
example.
just glad you see that. I'm glad you can catch up on what I was trying to do. You see what I'm trying to do.
It's a fun time to visit.
Well, I appreciate that, brother.
Oh yeah, and very, very thankful that you're doing it. So you're in a song. I want to kind of deep dive on some of your guitar prowess here. You're in a song, and you got the solo break.
It's all
coming up.
To
what's going through your head, knowing like
what
in
type
4
of
measures,
song it is.
You're gonna
whatever
get
the song is, when you come in on that first note, you want it to have some type of emotional impact, some type of emotional value, as to say, hey, I just come here. I'm here now. Here I go. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's the best time.
Yeah,
and,
you definitely start a solo.
The other most important part of your solo is how you get out of it.
Definitely accomplishing
and that you land gracefully. Just like, the gym kids, when they do their tumbling and everything, their dismount is just as important as the whole routine. Yeah. Well,
sure.
The thing that I
have any
focus on
tricks
more
that you
now
fall
instead of
back
trying to
on
be a
if
technician,
you kind of feel like
it's enough guys out there that can play a whole lot of notes. I try to select my notes and be tasty with my notes.
Okay.
It's all spontaneous.
And then, if you're, do you ever like
always,
compose
because you have 1 minute
before you hit record,
the whole time
is it all off the
before
cuff?
you computing and you putting all your information in, you trying to reflect
Have you ever
upon
tried
good things. If you warming up, you're hitting all notes that you think is good. But when it come time to play at that split second, at that instant, you want to go for something, like I said, that's all those things, that's emotional, so it varies right up until the last second. And then at that last second, you decide and you go for it. And you either hit it or you don't. If you don't hit it, if you sold on the idea, you back up and you do the whole process again and try to nail it this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's all right. That's what the studio for. That's what they got the rewind button for.
Try it again. Yeah. Okay.
Well, some people really put a big focus on that. Well, we did it in one
That's
take.
right. I mean,
okay, that's great
nobody's
if you
perfect
do.
all the
But,
time.
sometimes I'm the type of individual, I'm the type of writer that all the time when I first envision something, it's not a complete idea, or after I've been playing something for a few months, it changes. And then it might change again. It might change again before I record it. But to look back where it started from and look what it evolved to, I appreciate having time to let it marinate for a while and really let me evaluate and get the best out of whatever, this particular situation gonna have to offer.
Sure. Have you ever written a song and you're writing the lyrics down and then you start feeling it and you don't use the paper
I don't
anymore?
know. I've never did it that way.
Have you ever
had
this
record,
evolve and
I
then
had
you
a
come
one
back to the
taker
paper
and I didn't even
you
have
realize that
nothing
the
on the
words are
paper when we
completely
started.
or have changed?
And that's the blues shuffle to Keep On Loving My Baby. I wrote that as we plugged in. I didn't even know that we were going to do the song. They, hey, well, let's do this. I said, okay, so I'm trying to give everybody parts and let them know how I want the shuffle to go and everything like that. And so he said, well, just sing something so we got something to go by. I said, sing something. I said, sing what? And so long story short, we kicked the record off, they kicked the song off like you hear it. And I just started singing them words. I didn't know what I was going to say to that song before we started. And I just, it wrote itself right there on the spot. I'm going to wash my baby's feet, change my baby's sheets. That shit came just like, I don't know what it.
That's fantastic. I would have had no idea.
I wanted to change it. And they like, no, we're not changing it. We're not changing it. And I'm like, yeah, come on, man. Yep, wash my baby feet, cook, change my baby sheets, cook that girl a meal, and ask her, how do you feel?
That's fantastic.
I didn't even know what was going on in a blind, man. I just was saying something, man.
I love it.
Well, I done heard it enough now, that I know what it says, but I didn't before.
I love it. You're going to have to listen back to that to learn what you're supposed to sing on the road. You got to learn your own song. Oh, that's so great.
Well, I don't really have an influence there.
You talked about your
try my best
influences.
To be original.
Who would you say your songwriting influences
to take
are
reminiscences of other things, not exact things. If I'm gonna do something reminiscent, I'll take a part of that thing that I like and only use part of it and add something to it, or take something away to make it my own. And I try to be recognizable.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep it fresh. Okay. So as you're bringing it to the studio and you got these songs, I mean, is it a matter
the songs
of
themselves dictate
channeling a vibe,
and so the way I write,
a soul thing?
Music
you're going to go one direction.
I get a whole arrangement of something.
Up tempo blues. You're going to go another.
Music or a song, a musical idea come, and then I fill in the blanks.
Okay.
So we already have the musical arrangement before we even start writing the song. I've worked on that and come that far on my own.
Okay.
No, I just play them a whole lot. Keep on playing until they sink in.
How do you capture the ideas and the initial ideas that you get? Do you use a phone recorder or something like that?
Yeah. No, it pisses me off, but and it's a lot of ways to record. And
do you ever lose ideas
home
that
studio
you don't capture right
2 or
away?
3 different times, and it's just a lot of complication, man. And I don't have.
And you're okay with that? It's just
to sit and devote to get good enough to do it. All I want is pre-production anyway, just something to get my ideas down on. So I can do that with my phone nowadays, with all the digital technology. Yeah. No, not at this time. I don't. But I got a lot of old songs that we have archived. I probably got 25 songs that we've written that we didn't use.
So
we didn't use
have
2 songs off the last
phone?
project.
Okay.
Well, I always have plans for another record. I just don't always know who it's going to be with.
Okay. Do you have plans for a next record? Are you saving some of these songs that are laying around?
Well, I mean, but you don't wait till it's time for the next one to start thinking about it. You start thinking about it now.
Yeah, I guess now the record just came out. Now it's probably too soon.
Trying to be
thinking
prepared
about the next one
and get myself ready. And when that time comes, I intend to do my best and try to knock it on out.
Okay.
Everything. I'm thinking about this song titles. Everything crazy world.
Do you feel like there's a theme?
They all kind of relate.
City?
They kind of relate. like I said, I don't write myself personally. I don't write with a theme in mind. I write songs. I write for the music that comes to my head, which is very varied sometimes. You see some of the different beats and stuff on this record, none of it is the same, but it's uniform in the fact that it's from an era, it's from a time period. And that, time period is where my heart is, and I plan on continuing to write more music from. All I can write about is what I lived and what I know. So that's just, that's who I am.
Sure.
Try to Be a Good Man is almost 30 years old.
Sure.
That's almost 30 years old, and so is Crazy World.
Were all these songs written around the same time, or are some of them older that you were waiting for the right time?
Waiting for the right time. Yeah.
Wow. So that was just in your pocket waiting for the right time? Nice.
Well, that criteria never changes. The man-woman relationship.
When I listen to that,
it's just as old as Adam and Eve.
It's
men been cheating on women, women been cheating on men.
Having
bad marriages,
life,
good marriages.
It's like
the subject matter never changes. Oh yeah, for sure. I've been a father since I was 19.
Yeah, but it seems like you must have had a maturity at a young age to realize some of those things.
It makes you grow up, just two. But it makes you grow up though when you become a dad.
Excellent. Yes, fatherhood is definitely a very special gift. How many kids do you have? It
changed your life, didn't it? Yeah.
2? Okay. Nice.
That's right.
Yes, I have 4 kids myself, so yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, you learn it's not all about you anymore.
Did we get enough content?
So
we got to plan it. It was a nice.
All right, well, Larry, this has been such a treat. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this fantastic new record you've put out. Oh yeah. Any if you got any last minute,
don't be afraid to take some of the old stuff, like the classical stuff,
musicians
like
trying
the muddy
to keep
stuff,
the blues alive. I mean, you mentioned earlier, focus on the vocals more. Any other tips
and
for aspiring musicians?
See if it's a way you can bring
it
back with a creative freshness. Take that. Don't be afraid to delve into the old traditionals and see if you can freshen it up enough to bring it back, but don't distort it to the point where it's unrecognizable.
Excellent. That is sound advice. All right.
That's
All
correct.
right, Larry, thank you so much.
I'd like
for
to say
coming
this
on
important,
Pursuing the
Tom,
Muse.
that,
I
like I was
suggest
saying
everybody
before,
get
you
out
know,
there,
Heartbreak
get
City
a copy of
is
Heartbreak
down
City.
home good. It's down
your
home
website
cooking.
is
And anybody looking to,
LarryMcCrayofficial.com.
get some of
All
Mama's
right,
apple pie, that kind of thing, want to reminisce like that, you know, give his music a chance. That's there you go. There you go.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like a 7-minute song.
My brother, God bless, and thank you for doing what you do.
Hear, you know? Yeah.
All right, take care, Tom.
So thank you so much for putting this great, great album out into the world. It is definitely appreciated. Right on. All right. Thank you, Larry. All right. Bye-bye.